I'm Emma.
I'm Evie.
And I'm Adam. With all the excitement building for season 35, the Tar Pit crew would like to bring you a series of exclusive interviews to meet some of the teams before the season premiere on September 27th.
Here's our interview with Todd and Ashlie, aka Team Orange.
So tell us about yourself. What's your daily life like outside of the race? Where are you from? What do you want people to know about you guys as they're going into the season?
Okay, Ashley and we are like the stereotypical married couple, right? We've been together since high school, actually.
Yep. We met our sophomore year in high school. We had a Spanish and English class together, and the rest is history.
She's the best looking girl at our school. So, of course, I went after her. And so now we're married, 3 kids, and living life. So right now our life consists of working, obviously, and then coming home and taking the kids to basketball practice, soccer practice, whatever they're in, volleyball for our daughter. And we're basically that sports family. So
Todd, he not only is he a special education teacher for high school, he also is the high school varsity basketball coach.
Oh, nice.
And then when he's done doing that, he comes home and he coaches all of our kids' sports. He is a glutton for punishment. No, I'm kidding. But we're just always, if it's not, I don't think we have a moment where we're just kind of kicking back and relaxing. We are always on the go, go, go. Like I said, Todd played professional basketball. I think you played basketball all throughout high school and college. And then there was a portion he played overseas as well. So I think it just kind of sports runs in his veins more so than mine. I'm not that athletically inclined as he is, but we're just one of those busy families.
Nice. Todd is in special education, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And you teach high school, is that right?
Yeah, I'm a high school teacher, or a high school special education teacher. And so that is like, I love it. I think that's my calling. I really, really have just a passion for teaching students and really finding ways to teach students that might have, a little difficulty understanding certain things and finding different ways to connect with students. And I think that really helps us out in the race because, finding different ways to get to, the end result is kind of my job. And so, sometimes in this race, you might have to think outside the box or think of different ways of doing things in order to get ahead. And I think that kind of problem solving is just kind of helped us out.
Yeah, it's his bread and butter. He's great at it.
Nice.
When did you guys decide to be a team and apply to go on the Amazing Race?
Oh my goodness.
Who's this? Is this Evie?
Yes.
Hi, Evie. Okay, so you go ahead, babe. This is yours.
So when Todd played, he played professional basketball back in 2008 in France. And so when we lived out there, we had access to French television, but of course we don't speak French. And so we resorted to going online and looking for American TV shows that we could actually follow along and watch. And I stumbled upon The Amazing Race. I was hooked immediately because it was travel and destination. And so I started watching the first season, and Todd was at practice. And then I remember when he came home, I was like, gotta make some popcorn, settle in, because I just found our new favorite show. And we've just been super fans ever since. Now that we have kids, we make it a family affair. We watch pretty much every single season. Our kids, we almost make it like a game where we pause it during the roadblocks or pause it during the detours, and we try to figure out, okay, who in the family would be best at this one? Like if you and dad were going, who would do it out of you two? Or if you and, mom and you were going. So it's just, it's always just kind of been a part of our family ever since we were young married couple. And
Right.
so now that when our daughter was finally old enough, to be left with family, I told Todd, I'm like, we got to try out for this, please. Like, let's just make a video. Let's just see what happens. And so we ended up just making a video and submitting it. And I was probably shocked, to say is an understatement, when we got a call back, and I was shaking and I was just freaking out. I was just so excited. So it's almost like a dream come true for me.
Yeah, and I love The Amazing Race too, because it's such a family oriented show.
Mm-hmm.
We could watch it with our kids, and we all like. Not only do we have a fun time watching it, but it's competitive, it's fun, and you learn it. You learn a lot of different about different people, about their cultures, about different places in the world. It's just a great from top to bottom. It's a great family show.
Yeah,
and it's educational, and it's really cool. So,
not to mention, we have a list of all the places we want to visit, like vacation destinations from the race, right? So we're like, ooh, that would be a really good one. Put it down on the list for possible vacation spots in the future.
Yeah, so needless to say, we have about 20 different places we need to go before we die. So
Nice, I like that.
So, like you guys said, you've been fans of the show since the first season. And who are some of your favorite past teams, or some of your most memorable challenges?
my favorite team is definitely hands down the Globetrotters. I'm a basketball player, so when I saw guys that are I could really resonate with, the Globetrotters, and they're great competitors. And my favorite thing is they were such good guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they played the game the right way. They weren't mean, they weren't ugly, they were really nice guys, and they played a fair game. And so they were just fun to watch.
I think one of my favorite was Mark and Bopper. I think they were from Alabama. But they were just old friends that were friends forever, and they were just so entertaining, and they just had a kind spirit throughout the race, and they genuinely just enjoyed being with one another, and they were just always will be one of my favorites to watch. I think I would have to say my favorite challenge. It was an all-star season. I think it was season 24, and it was the running of the bulls. And so I remember when they first opened the clue, I'm thinking there's no way that they're going to make them run with bulls. This is crazy. And then when a little bit later on, you realize that they were in those little bubbles that, what are those human bubbles where they fit in? And then they actually had other individuals running and bopping them, and they would go flying down the street. It was actually very comical and hilarious. That was probably one of my favorite challenges.
One of my top ones has got to be the Japanese game show, when they went on the Japanese game show.
Yeah,
that was great. And I just thought of it just now, but that one where they had to go bungee jumping off of the bridge. And that lady had to do it, and she was deathly afraid of heights, and she did it anyway. Do you remember her name? What's her name?
I don't remember. Was it a married couple?
And she was they're teachers from.
That's right.
And she was so scared, and she jumped off the bridge, bungee jumped off the bridge.
I was so proud of her.
What a story of perseverance and overcoming your fear. And that's the thing that I love watching with my kids, because you could talk about it. Yeah. You could show, hey, this is what it looks like to overcome your fear, and it's just really cool to watch.
That's very true, because I don't remember, gosh, was it season, I can't remember, maybe 33. But yeah, you're right. They were on that gigantic bridge. And I just remember watching it, my hands were sweating, my feet were sweating watching her. And I could feel her nervousness. And I was praying for her. I'm like, oh my gosh, girl, you can do this. I was just so nervous for her. But then seeing her husband, he didn't have to do it, but he was just encouraging her. And she totally conquered her fear. And I was so proud of her, and I don't even know her, but I was just oh, that's my girl. She did it. I just resonated so much, because you get to know these people, and you like you said, you get to be proud of them, and still they're strangers, but yet you feel so connected with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that and you can see in the show when they're doing challenges too, where there are certain skills that they bring to them from their own personal life before the show or outside of the show. And I think of like Marcus and Michael, the two brothers, who the military brothers, they kept calling themselves, and they had been stationed in Europe quite a bit, and they were very comfortable navigating and reading maps. And I feel like in some of the challenges that they were in, especially in the European legs, it kind of gave them a little bit of a boost. They weren't ones that got lost frequently or often. Were there any kind of skills or talents that you guys brought to the challenges, and in broad terms, without giving away any info about season 35?
I wouldn't say there's actually like a skill or talent, but one of the things that I think just my personality lends to is I have like this, I love and passion for connecting with people. And so I love to connect with people, so much so that I will literally talk to someone at the grocery store for 30 minutes in the parking lot, strangers, right? I love talking to people. I love connecting with people. And I think that really lends itself to the race, because you're in so many different areas, so many different places with so many different types of cultures and people. And just knowing how to connect with people in general.
And making people feel comfortable. I mean, think about it. We were in different areas where we didn't speak the same language. And so Todd does have this really fantastic ability of just making people feel so comfortable and welcomed and at ease. There is like an aspect of the race where there is like a politicking that has to go on, and like, do you make alliances? Like, do people want to work with you? And I do think that Todd definitely brought that with him. I mean, it's a natural gift, and it just translated so well for us on the race, where we did use that to our advantage a lot of times with the racers, and then even just with the locals as well.
Right, and it's almost like even with people you don't know, like you don't speak the same language, they don't speak yours, you don't speak theirs, right? But like there's like an overall vibe, I think, that people give off, like a vibe, right? And so I think I hope my vibe is like very welcoming, and I think that pays off. And on the flip side, there might even be teams that don't have that vibe, and you could kind of feel it. Like they don't have to say anything, but you could just kind of feel it. And so I think that's kind of what I try to embody, like just in my everyday life. I want to be a guy that brings good vibes. There's a saying that I kind of live by where no one remembers what you say to them, but everyone remembers how you make them feel. Right. And so like, that's kind of what I want to do, not only in the race, but like everywhere I go, I want to make people feel good. Right. And so, because people remember that. And so I think that's just kind of that really helps us out in the race,
big time. So
nice. That's cool. Yeah, that is nice to watch that. And when people are, I guess, I don't know if I'd say making friends, because it's so quick and brief when you're doing these challenges, but just to see how it can bring out the best in humanity in all these different areas of the world. That's really cool.
Absolutely.
What kinds of things did you do to prepare for the show?
Well, okay, so who is this? Is this Emma or was that Evie?
Evie.
Hi, Evie again. Okay, so I would like to say that I worked out and I like got in like great shape.
And we ran miles.
But that didn't happen. I'm probably in the worst shape of my life in this race. But one thing that we did do was I think we prepared ourselves mentally and relationally, right? Like we really made sure we were in a good place together and made sure we were communicating. I know Ashley could go into how she prepared, because that kind of drove me nuts a little bit before the race.
So I made sure I actually went to like the local travel agency, and I bought a bunch of maps, and I bought compasses, and I bought, the traditional compass, and even, the travel compass. And, Todd he like figures things out just so naturally. So we sat down one day and I told him, I was like, we need to be comfortable with reading maps. And so here's a map of, I don't know, I think I bought it of like,
you brought
all
a
of
map,
Europe.
Yeah, a map of Europe.
And he's like, actually, I don't even know where we're going. Like how, but it was just very funny.
And you can't bring maps on the race.
No.
And so like, what are we going to do? Like memorize a whole map of Europe? Like, sorry, it's not going to happen. Right.
Yeah. And the races, I mean, knowing that you're going to go on the race, you're like, gosh, I need to prepare. But then you're also like, well, how do I prepare? Like I know my son and I, we played little puzzle games together, and we would do, whether it was Rubik's cubes or, what various games and speed skills. But then you never really know what you're going to get on the race. It could be any type of challenge, right? So I think at the end of the day, Todd and I really just focused on making sure that, like I said, we were connected, mentally and working on my patience and just,
And you know what we did do though, is we watched I think almost every season leading up to it. Once we realized we're going to be on the race, we literally, we have, obviously we have Paramount Plus, and we got on Paramount Plus and we watched every season. I think we went backwards though, right? We went backwards to see the newer ones to the older ones. And I'm telling you, our family, our kids are so tired of The Amazing Race right now.
Yeah, we binge watched it so many times. I think my kids but I think that's probably the best way to do it is you just rewatch
past performances.
Yeah. And you kind of see what works, what doesn't work. And,
and I will say we went in with a strategy, and it's a lot different when you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, here's our strategy. Here's what we're going to do. And then you get put on the race, and that strategy might go out the window it's the emotions, the adrenaline, and everything is just swirling around.
When you watch the race, you don't factor in the adrenaline and the emotions that you experience, right? So just like Todd said, we can watch it and be like, oh, that is textbook. We need to do A, B, C, and D. But then when you're running the race, A, B, C, and D goes out the window, and you're working with symbols and colors, and you're just. And
I got a great example. It's like, okay, strategy: be careful to read signs appropriately. Read the signs. Read signs, right? Road signs. Yeah, easy, right? In the race, not so easy. So definitely things like that.
So. Oh my gosh, just listening to that makes me think about times where we're shouting at the TV, read the clue, read the clue.
Oh, just wait, just wait.
I can imagine. So now that you guys have been on this adventure, I'm sure that there's a there's a vault on what you can and can't say, but how has it been adjusting back to civilian life, to your daily life?
Oh, so adjusting to civilian life to daily life is difficult. It's like we have this great, fantastic, amazing, thing to share with everyone, and we can't talk about it at all. For like a very social people like we are, and I'm sure like you guys are, right? You can't. It's hard to keep it in, but you have to, and so. It's definitely, I just can't wait till the season starts. I can't wait till it gets going. Yeah. We just recently were allowed to announce that we were on the show. And so we got to tell everyone, which was so nice.
Yep. Yeah.
I know some people were worried about us during this show.
Well, you know what's so funny is, obviously The Amazing Race, when you watch it, all of the clues are red and yellow. And it's so funny because when you're running the race, you are trained to look for everything red and yellow, and, your eyes naturally go to it, and, is that a clue, or, hey, and then coming back home, it's funny because I see red and yellow everywhere, together paired up. And I'm always like, oh yeah. So I'm always almost flashbacks of oh, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, we're not racing. Calm down. Relax. It's not it's over. You're good. So it's just, so now it's so funny. If I do see anything that's red and yellow, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to Todd.
It's like she's like those cartoons where you see a bull that goes after red, right? But it's red and yellow.
Wow, I never thought about that. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's for sure there.
Yeah, you see it everywhere.
So since you guys couldn't talk a lot about what happened this season, will you guys be willing to come back on the show after your last episode airs to talk more about season 35?
And is this Emma?
Yeah.
Yes, Emma.
Yes.
We would love to come back.
In fact, that's probably going to be the best, because then we're going to give you the full rundown and details of exactly what happened. So, like I said, this is a really fun and exciting season, what we were able to do. And kind of giving you the inside scoop of maybe what they didn't show or, what we were feeling in particular moments. So you bet your bottom dollar we will be back on here.
Nice. I like it. Some family-friendly tea. Let's
Yeah.
spill it.
Absolutely.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys for joining
thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
And we do hope to talk
Thank
to you
you.
again after your last episode airs. Hopefully, we'll cheer you all the way to the finish line, but we'll definitely talk to you again. And is there any way that you want to let people know how they can keep up with you? So if you start building up your fan base, how can people keep up with you guys?
Yeah, so to keep up with us, you can follow my Instagram page at Todd_Martin33.
Okay.
You could also follow. Go ahead, Ashley.
Or same. If you go on Todd's, you're gonna find my name too. We share everything on our Instagrams. Mine's just miss.ashley.martin. And so we're going to be posting there, and all, ideally, like what we want to do too is just kind of after each episode, kind of briefly talk about behind the scenes with us. But yeah, that's how we're going to share and post. So that's the best way to keep up with us.
Very cool. Well, thanks for joining us again.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. And we're going
Absolutely.
to team Orange on, cheer Team Orange on.
That's right.
The next couple of weeks. So thanks a lot, you guys.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Adam,
you.
Emma,
Bye.
and Evie. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
Bye.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.